The day I caught her cheating, I didn't shout, I didn't argue, I didn't even ask why. I just walked away. No goodbye, no warning, nothing. And for months, she had no idea where I'd gone. Until the day she showed up at my door, crying, asking for me back. Before I tell you the full story, I want to hear from you. If you caught your partner cheating after years together, would you walk away quietly or would you confront them? Drop your answer in the comments while you listen. The backstory. We'd been married for 22 years, 2 kids, a mortgage, a life built from scratch. We went from struggling in our first apartment to owning a nice home in a quiet neighborhood. I thought we had made it through the storms of life. She was my best friend, my partner, the person I trusted more than anyone, but trust can disappear in a second. It happened on a Thursday night. I came home early from work because the site I was working on closed down for the day due to bad weather. I walked in quietly, thinking I might surprise her. Instead, she surprised me. She was in the kitchen, leaning on the counter, whispering into her phone. At first, I didn't think anything of it, until I heard the way she laughed. Not the casual laugh I knew. This was softer, warmer, intimate. And then I heard his name. A name I knew all too well. My fishing buddy. A man I'd shared beers with. Someone who had eaten dinner at my table. I froze. My stomach turned cold. I listened just long enough to hear enough. To know. I didn't storm in. I didn't grab the phone. I didn't yell. I walked into the bedroom, took out a duffel bag, and packed. A few shirts, jeans, boots, my fishing rod, my truck keys. She didn't notice until I was standing at the door. She asked where I was going. I just said, out. That was it. No goodbye. No explanation. I drove for hours until I reached my uncle's old hunting cabin by the river. No internet, no TV, just a wood stove, a creaky bed, and my dog for company. For months, I stayed away. I fished in the mornings, chopped wood in the afternoons, and watched the sun set over the water in the evenings. The first few weeks were hard. I'd wake up expecting to smell her coffee, to hear her humming in the kitchen. But with each passing day, the silence became healing. I didn't check my phone much. I didn't care about the news. I was learning how to be alone without feeling lonely. And in that time, I realized something important. I wasn't just healing from her betrayal. I was remembering who I was before it. Then one cold afternoon, it happened. A knock on my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. My heart sank a little when I saw her through the window. She looked different. Not just older, weary, like life had been chewing her up and spitting her out. When I opened the door, she stood there, soaked from the rain, her eyes red from crying. She said my name like it was the first drink of water after a long thirst. "Please," she whispered. "I made the biggest mistake of my life." She told me she had ended things with him months ago, that she'd been trying to track me down, that every day without me was a punishment she deserved. She said she'd do anything to make things right. I listened. I let her speak. I didn't interrupt. I could see the regret was real. I could see the pain. But here's the thing. The man who stood in that doorway wasn't the same man who had walked away months ago. I had built a new life, one with peace, one without lies, and I wasn't ready to give that up. I told her I forgave her. But forgiveness doesn't mean going back. She cried harder. She asked if I was seeing someone else. I wasn't. But that didn't matter. The trust had died, and no amount of tears could bring it back. I wished her well. I told her to take care of herself. And then I closed the door. Walking away without a word might sound cold to some people. But sometimes it's the only way to keep your dignity. I could have stayed and fought. I could have begged for an explanation. But in the end, what good would that have done? I'd still be carrying the same wound. Sometimes the best revenge is living a life so full and peaceful that the person who hurt you can never be part of it again. If you were in my shoes, would you take her back or keep moving forward? And for those of you who've been through something like this, do you believe trust can ever be rebuilt after betrayal? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one.